You're listening to the Hustled Up podcast. I'm Laura Natoli.
And I'm Holly Silva, and we are best friends since birth turned multi-passionate entrepreneurs and co-owners of Chores and More, a successful service-based business where everybody is treated like a best friend.
Welcome to our show where tactical business education meets fun and real conversations about this wild journey called life.
Get ready to be inspired. Grab your headphones, turn up the volume, and let's hustle up.
What's up, Hustled Up fam? Welcome back to another episode of Hustled Up. I am your host. My name is Laura, and don't you worry, Holly will be here. And not just Holly and I, because we also had the great pleasure and honor of having an amazing guest on this week. And honestly, I'm so excited because we have talked about this particular guest so much on the podcast, and we told her that we talked about her a lot, but I don't think she truly understands. Like, I feel like she's the third member of Hustled Up at this point with how much we've talked about her. So before I get into that, though, you guys know what's coming. I'm going to ask you to quickly pause this, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening so that you get notified. Share this podcast with a friend and just let us know. Slide into the DMs if we've been able to help you at all along your journey. Now, without further ado, we have the great honor of having the one and only Beth Eldredge on today's episode, and it was an amazing conversation. It's a long one, but honestly, I felt like we could have stayed on for 3 hours and talked with Beth. And if you don't know who Beth is, because you've been living under a rock, she is our personal coach and mentor through our coaching program, Cleaning Business Fundamentals. So she is a certified coach through CBF. She also owns her very own cleaning business, Eldredge Cleaning. She's also a social media influencer. She has an astonishing amount of followers on TikTok, Facebook, all the things. She's incredible. She's an icon. And I honestly can't wait for you guys to finally put a face to the name. She has helped us so much along our journey. Really, I don't think Holly and I would have grown as fast as we did with the business without her monthly coaching calls, guidance, support, because it's just so nice to not only have a coach that you know is going to give you amazing advice, right? You know that they're amazing, knowledgeable, skilled. They're going to give you the right advice, but the advice is also coming from the heart. It's coming from, we know she has our best interests in mind and we fully trust everything that she says. So we implement. When she gives advice, we implement right away. And our conversation was so much fun today. And I'm going to stop talking now so that you guys can actually see for yourself how truly amazing she is. So definitely stay tuned. Are you tired of spending your entire weekend cleaning when you could be going out to brunch with your girls?
First of all, I love brunch. And second of all, yes, there are so many things I could be doing instead of cleaning my house on the weekend.
Oh yeah, like playing video games.
Or watching a movie with the kids.
Going on a date with your significant other.
Taking your dog to the dog park.
Going to the movies.
Solving world hunger.
Yes! Exactly. So this is why it is such a good idea to call up Chores and More for your deep and recurring cleaning needs.
And do you want to know something really, really cool?
What?
If anybody mentions Hustled Up when they call to book, they can receive up to $100 off their deep cleaning.
Up to $100 off. What are you doing still sitting there? Pick up the phone now, mention our podcast, and never have to spend your weekends cleaning again.
Simply go to choresandmorellc.com. You can fill out our request quote form there, or give us a call, send us a text, 631-397-0177. It is time to get back to doing the things you love. Let us take care of the cleaning. We are back and we are so excited. We have only been waiting for this episode for maybe like 10 years. No, it's not that long. We haven't even been recording that long, but a long time. We are joined today by the amazing, the wonderful, my idol, I worship the ground she walks on, Beth Eldredge. Beth Eldredge. This is like a full circle moment for me because we have shouted you out a million times on this podcast.
I was just thinking
we are constantly like, yes, it's like you're finally here. People can put a face to the name if they don't already know you, and a voice to the name if they're listening. But it's just so exciting because we have shouted you out, and for all of our listeners, you all know Beth is our mentor, and she's been working with us for well over a year now, and she has just helped us so much in every aspect of our business. So Beth, welcome to the show. We are so excited to have you on.
Thank you so much. So excited to be here. I know you had mentioned it before, and I think I told you I was procrastinating because I didn't have a microphone.
I was like, wow, Beth really doesn't want to be on our podcast. Oh my goodness.
I was just like, you like stress over the stupidest things, and I was
Yeah,
like, I
don't
don't
we
know what
all?
microphone to buy. Once I figured out, and then finally my daughter got one, and I was like, oh, this thing's great. So then I was like, oh, I can be on the podcast now. I think it was like
That's so funny.
$19 for the.
That's amazing.
amazing.
Our listeners have been waiting with bated breath because we literally, I swear, Beth, we shout you out like once an episode. We're like, well,
Oh
Beth
my
said
gosh.
blah, 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 and Deep Clean
Oh my
Specialist
gosh.
this, and coaching program that. And our listeners are probably like, this is the infamous Beth. Like, it's sick.
Oh no, no pressure,
Honestly.
no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, but you're
Yeah,
kind of
no.
famous here.
I'm so flattered.
So for people who don't know you, even though we again have spoken about you way too much probably at this point, if you could just introduce yourself, kind of tell everybody what you do and all the things you do, that would be awesome.
Awesome. Sure. So I'm Beth Eldredge, and I own Eldredge Cleaning. We're located right outside of Philly, in the suburbs of Philly, in Royersford. And I have been in business now 21 years. I started it when I was a freshman in college, not a freshman, a sophomore in college. I had my daughter, and I was determined to finish my degree, so I started scrubbing toilets so I could get through school. And then now 21 years later, I am a coach for cleaning business fundamentals, which is my absolute passion. I love it so much. When I joined CBF, it was 4 years ago now. It's so crazy. It completely turned my business around. We had a big business, but it was a big mess. And I joined CBF, and I was able to turn it around. And then about almost 2 years ago, I was invited to be part of the coaching program, which has been the honor of a lifetime. So in addition to coaching, which I love, and my cleaning business, which my husband now runs for me, I help out with like marketing and content there. What else do? I create courses, which I love. So I found just such a passion for creating courses. It started with my passion for creating a video on social media. And now it's my passion just for creating content and courses that I can share my full personality and all the things I've learned along the way with wonderful people like yourselves.
Yes, and we've taken the courses. We can attest
Every
to how
single
wonderful
course.
and fun they are.
Beth could drop a course that's like, how to go to the grocery store, and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna buy that. Like, honestly.
And that would be amazing because I don't go to the grocery store. So it would be on how not to go to the grocery store.
I would buy that
need
course
that.
too.
Yeah, I could teach
Laura
you.
knows I'm all about delegation. If I had told her I want to delegate breathing my own breath at this point, that's
I'm
kind of
with
where
you.
I'm at.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Love
If
it.
it doesn't bring me joy, I don't want to do it.
I feel
Bring me
that.
joy,
love
make me
that.
money. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So so I know you said your current passion is courses. So what courses are you working on, or have you recently worked on, that you'd like to share, that you can
Oh
share
my
with
gosh.
everybody?
So I'm currently working on, it's called, so we did Deep Clean Specialist. I know you guys already know this, but I'll tell everyone who doesn't know. And basically there was a gap in the cleaning industry on how to really be successful on deep cleans as growing cleaning businesses. And so through like trial and error and determination to figure it out, we came up with this awesome program called Deep Clean Specialist. And Debbie, who found Cleaning Business Fundamentals, I told her about it, and she's like, you need to make a course. So we put together this course that was really great. And then I started learning all about how to make courses. And so now I'm doing it again. It's 2.0, and I'm having so much fun because I'm creating like workbooks and playbooks, and I've learned how to make video more engaging and how to combine all the learning styles into one like compact, easy to follow training. And what I'm having a lot of fun now with, that I just learned yesterday, is making workbooks. So as I have the content, now I am creating these amazing workbooks so that the people going through the courses, it really sticks, and they can do role play, and they can have like all these different awesome things. So you're not just like watching a video, but it's like now interactive, which is super fun. So yeah, I'm
Ooh.
geeking out over that. Like,
Oh, I can't wait for that. I love role playing. I force my staff at staff meetings and they cringe, but I'm like, we're doing it.
oh yeah, oh no, it has role play. It
Love that.
has like come up with different scenarios. It's really good and interactive. So I'm really,
I
really
love
excited.
that.
Yeah.
I love it because everybody has a different way of learning too, and you're
Yep.
kind of tackling all the different ways.
Yeah.
Some people learn better by putting pen to paper or like,
Right.
doing it in a workbook. Some people are better visually. And,
Yeah.
so I think that's super cool that you're expanding it to make it for more people to absorb the
Yeah.
information and implement it. And
Yeah.
we all know, and I told you this, Beth, in my little testimonial for Deep Clean Specialist, but when we first went mop free, we were like, we're not giving up the initial cleanings. Like
Yeah.
we'll just be the deep cleaners and
Yep.
everybody
You were
else
the
will
deep
do
clean
it.
specialist, right?
Yes,
Oh, yeah. We
exactly.
just
We were
didn't
like,
know
we'll
it.
never be able to delegate that. Exactly. Then it was a conscious thing, like, oh, we're gonna do them ourselves. We don't trust anybody,
Yeah.
and we're scared. And
Yep.
then we took the Deep Clean Specialist course, and we were like, okay, wait, we're gonna try it this way. And we could brag on our conversion rate from one time to
Yeah.
recurring. It's like over 75%, I
That's
think.
Yeah,
insane.
it's almost always 75% or higher. And I
Yeah.
contribute that to like, we have some hardworking deep clean specialists with amazing
Yeah.
personalities, but I don't think that they would know how to utilize their skills and their talents without the structure that the deep clean specialist
Yeah.
course provides. Like, it was like, we have the tools. Now we know what to do. We married those two, and we are just, I'm not going to be humble. We're so good at converting to recurring service. And
I
that's
love
why
it.
we've been able to grow.
I love it.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
That's what
so good.
finally
Yeah.
put us mop free. Like, it really
Yeah.
was finally what
Yes.
like allowed us to cross over the mop free threshold. And
Yeah.
I don't have it anymore. Like, if I bend over to clean something, I'm not getting back up now.
It's it. No.
Yeah. I got nails now. Like, we finally went mop free. Holly did my nails. I cannot clean with these things.
No, I know.
I will bust a kneecap. I will bust a kneecap. If I
No,
do that.
just something. I know, and that was my story too. Is I just could not, and my business was big. Like, I could not get out of the field
Yeah.
because of those deep cleans, and I was
Yeah.
feeling like I was so defeated.
Yeah.
But I love what you were saying, Laura, about like empowering people, because I think coaching and these courses, like giving people skills they didn't otherwise have, because it's not about cleaning, it's about leadership, and it's
Right.
about like how communication and leadership and being able to teach people these skills it changes their lives, and it's so impactful. It's not just about cleaning, none of it. And when I'm coaching, it's not about like growing your cleaning business. It's about teaching skills that you can use that will help your business, but also like you can grow from. And it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, our coaching sessions for me, like our private ones, have given me so many life skills that I'm constantly like, I got to embrace my like inner baddie, boss baddie,
Yes.
and like just tell them how it is. And I've gotten so
Yes.
much better at that
I
because
know.
I used to be like a beta person, and now I'm like, I try to be very alpha in my
Yes.
conversations, and like that's something I take that. Like, I'm working on buying a car. If he does not give me a deal I want, I'm not going to just be like, okay, I'll take it. No,
Right.
you work for
Yeah.
me. If you want me
Right.
to buy your car, I will, and so
Yes.
that's how I take those things that you've taught us, like not only to use in our business, but like in life,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
it's good and it's important. And
It's
people
so
always,
important.
we hear so often that people don't want to invest in coaching or like, or courses. And I'm like, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
think once you like invest in yourself, you're believing in yourself, right? Like I think like there's an energy shift. And when you
Yeah.
have that belief or that determination, like you'll do the thing.
Yeah.
You know, Debbie always says people who pay attention. And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know. Did I catch you up on when I went to Vegas and I took that? So I was
You
in
didn't-
Vegas
No,
for that
we were
team.
following along on social media. Like, I was like stalking every live video. Like, go Beth, I want
Yeah.
to know more.
Oh my gosh,
We don't
it
know.
was so amazing. So I went to Vegas and I was like, I'm not gonna buy anything. Like I'm going as this Russell Brunson thing. It was, Tony Robbins was speaking. It was like this big like tech bro fest, which is like kind of not my vibe. And the first day I was like really hypercritical, and I was like, I'm not gonna buy anything. Well, the more I'm watching and learning, I'm like, I I have to invest. Like whether or not I have the money to invest, I have to invest in my future. I know I will be able to make it back. And so it was just knowing that this is information that I will grow me so much as a human and it will profit so much as a businesswoman. So I was investing money like I literally didn't have because I knew I was confident that I would be able to earn it back. And I did very, very quickly. And just that belief and that like fire was like such an amazing experience for me. It was
That's so awesome.
It's so big on mindset, like, and how they, make you feel like it's like a feeling, right?
I had a feeling and I believed in myself and I was willing to take a massive risk. And that's just what's happened since then. What I've been able to accomplish because I took that risk is like makes me giddy.
Yeah, for sure.
I just can't even believe
That's so cool.
what's happened.
Yeah. And that's what you're doing with your team,
I mean,
too,
I feel that way
through
since
the
joining
deep clean
CBF,
specialist.
too.
Yes, it's true. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in your staff. It's like, I'm getting hot, getting so excited about this conversation. Gotta take my sweater off. But honestly, I'm getting fired up. Because, it's true. Like, I don't think that these skills, like, I don't think you probably, Beth, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, would have had the guts to say yes to such a scary opportunity if you hadn't already been investing in yourself. Like a few years ago, you probably wouldn't have taken that plunge. We wouldn't have taken half of the plunges that we've taken recently, like joining pros, for example. If it was a few years ago, it's like a slow confidence that you build in yourself by investing.
Such a good
Then
point.
once you start building, once you start investing in your staff, you're building the confidence in them. So it's like a vicious cycle, and you don't know how many lives you're affecting. Especially you, Beth, with these courses. Like you are affecting not only our lives, but our techs' lives and their families' lives. Like it has such a ripple effect. It gives me goosebumps.
So good. It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you make such a good point because it's like a muscle you work. Like believing in yourself and investing in yourself and taking leaps. That was a really good point. And kind of getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Like I was so adverse to discomfort. Like, 15 years ago. Like I just avoid discomfort at all cost. And now it's just like, it's like the buffalo story. Like, no, now the more I can lean into the discomfort, the quicker I can get through it and the more I can grow and learn. And that's the same thing with investing in myself. So,
yeah,
it's
amazing.
Sure.
You're changing lives.
That's
And
awesome.
I mean, even we also haven't even talked about, other than Deep Clean Specialist 2.0 and the original, you also have a social media for success course, because I don't know if you guys know this. Beth Eldredge is a famous influencer. So she also started, yes, she is. This is why she's our queen and our idol. She also started a social media for success course, which Holly and I are also a part of. Because again, I said, Beth could be like, I have a course on how to breathe air, and I'd be like, here's my money. But can you talk a little bit about that? Oh yeah, no, I got my card in my bag. I'll get it out. Add to cart. I'm sick.
So you want me to talk about the social media course and how that came about?
Yeah, like how did that, because you're juggling so many balls, which is what I admire about you so much, because Holly and I are multi-passionate doers, but I can't keep up with my passions. And you're doing it. You're doing all the things. So I would love to know how that started and how also you balance all these hats.
Yeah, I don't. I do it very poorly.
I don't believe that.
No, I make a lot of mistakes. And I think my willingness to really, I know where my heart is. And I know I'm always doing my best. And I know I'm always operating with integrity. And I make really big mistakes. And I learn from them. And like, I think my secret to success is my willingness to fail fast. Like, if I do it, it doesn't work, brush off, try again. And there's been a lot of struggle and growth through that because I really am very insecure. I worry about what people think my intentions are. And that really, that holds me back probably more than anything that I've really been working on. So anyway, that's not what you asked me about. You're asking about social media for success and how I juggle all the balls. That's where it came from.
Well, I
but I
love
love
your
that.
answer. I do. I just want to say I love that answer because first of all, I love that you just got like a little vulnerable there, saying
Yeah.
you're not perfect in every way. Because like I look at you and I'm like, it's perfection. It's just you just lead with grace and you're perfect and you don't do anything wrong and like all of your hats are perfectly balanced. But to say like, oh yeah, no, I mess up too, and I'm not afraid to mess up, sometimes, and I have to work through discomfort and I have to work through worrying what other people think. Like that's like. That's something so important. And it's important for especially our audience. A lot of our audience members and listeners of this podcast have businesses where they're just starting out. They have smaller businesses. So to hear from somebody who has been in the industry a long time, who's doing so much, who has a larger business, like I love it because they're going to need to hear this. Like everybody's going to need to hear that. Like, everybody from at all stages are gonna like have their own things, insecurities, their own, they're gonna fail or they're gonna fall down or they're gonna forget something, whatever it is. So love that you said that. So that needed to be said. But okay. Now you could talk about, and also I want you to tell them about like your TikTok journey too. So I know I'm putting a lot on your plate
Before
here.
I do that, can I just mention one more thing about what you said? We're never going to get there, by the way. We're never going to get to the TikTok journey.
It's all good. It's a journey.
One of the things that I can say is that's been the most beautiful and helpful for me is developing my tribe. And I do consider you two part of my tribe, by the way. But I have like my cohort. We did an exercise yesterday with each other, and it was like, what do you see as my greatest strength? And what do you see as my greatest weakness? And we had, all right, there was like, I don't know, there were 7 of us, and we each had our turn, and the whole room went around and shared. And it was with so much love, but it was like to be able to have a tribe of women who are like that willing to give that kind of feedback and also to graciously receive that kind of feedback was a really beautiful experience. So I think having that group of people, and I know you two have each other, and I just love the relationship that you two have. But I think having those people makes all the difference, because I know if I fail, I know these women. Like when Walter went through, my husband, he got really sick. He was in the hospital and it was touch and go. I knew at a phone call, any one of them would have gotten on a plane and been here for me. Without doubt. And to have that kind of support makes failing a lot easier.
For sure.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. And I had to get vulnerable and be very real in order to develop those bonds.
Yeah, I admire that. I literally wrote it down, willingness to fail fast. I'm about to get that tattooed on my arm because I feel like that's something that holds me back so much, is I'm so afraid to make a mistake, which I make them all the time, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of course, right.
But I think it absolutely has held me back a lot of my life from doing things I want to do. It's just
absolutely.
It's just
and it's not
hard.
that serious.
Yeah.
No.
What's the worst that could happen? Like,
right. If you know that your integrity's there, and I mean, I'm not reckless. And, I mean, most of it, no one else even knows. I did make a really big mistake last week, and I'm really embarrassed by it. But, I won't remember it in 2 weeks. It'll be gone and forgiven and forgotten. But, things happen. I'm not going to tell you what it was, so don't worry.
I kind of want to know, but it's okay.
I know, I want that tea, but it's all right.
No, and you know what it is? It's when you were talking about all the balls in the air. Sometimes I feel like, in the cartoons, like old cartoons, when they're like running and they're in the air and when they look down and they fall. I feel like that's my life, is constantly just like, and I know that if I stop and I look down, I'm going to be like the Wile E. Coyote, like laid out.
That is such a good analogy. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
That is.
That makes me feel better.
That's what I feel like all the time. Like,
oh my god,
well,
I
don't
understand
show it.
that.
You seem very cool, calm, and collected at all times.
If you saw my space around me, like literally, one of my pets vomited in my office, and I walked into it this morning, and I'm just working in pet vomit. Like there's like, like. I kind of clean it up. I'm like, you all can't smell it or see it, so like, carry on, soldier.
I am dead. That is the best thing you could have ever said.
But
That's
that's just my
great.
life. Like, always.
I get it.
And I'll never lie about it. Like, no one, if everyone asks me, like, what state is my house in, I will never lie about it. It's just, I think people see what they want to see or they need to see. And it's one thing that drives me crazy about social media. I don't
Yeah.
understand is like, how do people not know that this is just one tiny piece? Like when I hear people like, oh, I feel so bad, everyone's doing this, and I'm like, I don't understand how people don't understand that that's just a tiny snapshot
Yeah.
into that person's life.
They
Like we all
they
have shit.
people really just on social media know how to craft their life so well
Yeah.
and just make it seem like all around perfect, and I still struggle with that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I know influencers personally. You know, we even clean for an influencer. I know what goes on behind the scenes, and you know,
You're
and
an
I know that.
influencer. You two are influencers. Yes. I'm not going to debate it. I have the final say.
I mean, I wish I had 250,000 followers, but
One day we will.
One day.
One day we will.
But comparison is the thief of joy, and like
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
as they say, it's a saying as old as time, and it's too easy for all of us to fall into the trap. But that's why we need people like you coming onto podcasts like this to talk
Yeah.
about the vomit next to you. And
Yeah.
you know, I had a laundry mountain for about 4 weeks,
Yeah.
and every time one of my techs came to clean my apartment, I was like, please. Do not judge the fact that I have not folded the laundry in like 4 weeks. Like I just haven't. It's not
Exactly. I used
So
to
I
have
get
a
it.
friend that said, like, when that happened, it just meant she needed to buy new clothes. And I always thought that was
That's so
really...
funny.
Laura did do that. Laura
I
did
did.
do
Well,
that.
in my defense, the dryer broke, and I was like,
Oh,
I
that's
could
right.
ta-
That's right.
but I was like, I could take my lazy butt to the laundromat, or I could go buy new socks and underwear. It's like an easy call, you know what I mean?
I
And
mean,
I'm
obviously
wearing
new socks and underwear, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
had socks
Obviously.
at Target with cats lifting weights. I was like, what am I gonna not buy that? Like, come on.
Right. I would be so
Laundromat?
disappointed in you. Like, that's probably the only thing you could do that would disappoint me is not buy that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so funny because we get so embarrassed of these things, but like here we are talking about them openly and laughing about them. Like, because like you said, Beth, it's not a big deal.
It's not that
Literally
serious.
not.
And you know what? I learned this. Like, I don't know, did you make the first one or the second one? The webinar that I did last week?
The first one.
The first one.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, I had like around the clock worked so hard on this webinar. I was so proud of it. I mean, blood, sweat, and tears went into it. I completely neglected everything else in my life. A notification went out an hour early that it was starting an hour early. And I'm on a coaching call. It was the first time with a client, and I take that so seriously. And my phone is blowing up. And like, I'm not that social. My phone doesn't blow up like that. But then I saw Diana, for the sake of this, I'll call her my boss. Diana was calling me. And when Diana calls, if you're in the middle of labor, you answer that phone call. Like if I'm in the shower and it's Diana, I'm getting out of that shower and I'm answering the phone call. And it was 2 minutes before the hour, and she was like, Beth, we have over 100 people on this call. I didn't have my makeup on. I didn't even have my lipstick on. My hair wasn't done. And I had to hop on this call. I was not ready for the first one. At all. Like, there was nothing about me that in my head, I had that hour. I was going to put my makeup on. I was going to go through it a couple more times. And I got on, and I'm so proud of myself because I think I pulled it off.
No,
you
I had that
definitely did.
thought. I was like, Beth is so chill right now, and she is so composed and doesn't seem stressed at all. I literally thought to myself, how is she so good at letting things roll off her back? I swear to God, I had that thought.
I would have been crying because I just get so stressed, you know. Like,
Yeah.
but you nailed it.
Thank you.
You didn't look
I'm
stressed,
really-
not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
I was
Would have
dying on
never
the
known.
inside. Like, I felt like if I don't have my lipstick on, I feel like...
Oh.
Oh my goodness,
is
you
your
couldn't
trademark.
tell. I'm not just saying that. Like, you
Yeah.
genuinely...
Yeah, no.
I had that thought. I was like, Beth is such a professional that she literally just hopped on this call and was like, we're going to do it. I was like, what a true professional. Either she's a true professional or she is so chill. Like, I don't know which one.
No, she's just... I'm just enough insane. Like, that's what it is. There's enough madness in me that I can make things work. You know what it is doing theater helped me in high school. in middle school and high school doing theater. And I know, Laura, your background is in theater. It's
Yeah,
like
and
the
Holly
show
did theater in
must
high
go
school
on.
too. Yeah, we both did.
We
So
did.
we
Oh, you
Yeah.
both did, yeah.
get
So
that. Yep.
like the show goes on. Like you just, you got to go. And I was prepared enough. And no, that was complete. That was winging it. I just winged it.
Wow.
There's
You
a
did
lot
great.
missing. I don't think the first one I even got to show. Oh no, I did. The audio went when I was showing Laura your testimonial. Yeah, but the grace, and then I had to start over again. Like I had to do it twice in a row. But like the amount of grace, it was 230 people total. I didn't get one bit of criticism. I didn't get, I mean, like I bombed in as far as timing and everything. And it's just such a lesson in me. Like people are fine.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
fine. You know, and if someone wanted to get real mad about it, you know, that's on them. That's them. That's not me. And it was just like such a lesson in grace. And like, you know what? People, they're fine. Y'all are fine.
Yeah. And I think it's
And
also
we were.
a lesson and I think it's a lesson in other, in everybody, like not only to give yourself grace, right? Like, and you had to do that, and you're learning to do that and, you're reeling in from that. And it's also a reminder for other people to give other people grace.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody was fine and everybody should be fine over things like that. And, that's just an important reminder too.
It is.
Honestly, if somebody wasn't fine, then that's not somebody I even want to sell my course to anyway.
You know, right. Like, and one thing that and it's interesting because now that I work from home, because you'll know I don't leave the house, right? Like,
I did not know that.
no, I don't leave the house.
Love that.
No, I don't. I will do anything not to leave the house.
That's so funny.
When I travel, I love to travel. And I have to pick up my daughter and I go to my kids' sporting events. But other than that, I don't leave the house. When I go to my yoga studio, but like my car is a 2017. It has 42,000 miles on it.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
Isn't that funny?
That's wild.
Legit a hermit.
Wow. I get it. I'm kind of the same way though. My office is 2 blocks away from my
Yeah.
apartment.
Yeah.
And other than that, and as you can see, I've been working from home because I have a furry toddler now.
You do have
So,
friends. Yeah.
but I get it. So I'm also kind of a hermit.
Yeah, okay, so you get it.
Yeah.
But I find that the less I interact with others, I'm becoming kind of an a-hole.
Oh no.
And that like I find myself being like assuming the worst in people.
It's hard
And-
not to.
Yeah, it's hard not to. And so I'm trying to really practice and now that it's the daylight savings is started or ended, whatever it is, I'll force myself to go out more. But like it's hard to be mad at somebody in person or like when you see them. It's hard
Yeah.
to assume you kind of see their intentions. And
Yeah,
so
that's
I'm
true.
trying to work on like just assuming good intent with people because
Yeah.
I'm really finding myself just being like I hate everyone.
It's hard though. You can only be burned so many times before you're like, ugh, people
Well, that, and I think people show their very worst selves online.
They do.
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
Oh
Keyboard
my gosh.
warriors. That's what I call them. They're the worst.
Oh my
You never say
gosh.
that to somebody in person that you say to them over the internet. It's disgusting, honestly.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. And it really it makes me as tough as I think I am and like in control of my own mind, I'm like, no, it like infiltrates and I start getting really negative towards people.
Yeah.
I don't-
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
like that. I start getting like paranoid that people are like, it's just, so all that to say, I need to leave the house more.
Yeah.
I understand. I get angry at people even if it's not directed at me.
Yeah.
Like online. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I get angry and I'm like, wait, you're being a jerk, but you're not, it's like,
It's
whatever.
nothing to
You
do
be a
with
jerk
you,
and do, yeah. Like, why am I letting this take up my space?
I
But I do
know.
it. We all do it.
Yeah, we all do it.
Yeah. And I think that's the balance when you are like online. Like I'm a very, that sounded, I'll just say it. I'm a very public figure, but I'm like, seriously.
No,
calm
you
down.
are.
No, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's kind of where I live my life is online. So it's hard not to get caught into
It is. It is.
It's like, yeah, don't use from your own supply. Like it's hard for me just to like create my content and put out in the world and then retreat back into a healthy mindset.
And
So,
you do that well, and you manage a lot of social media accounts.
yeah.
And, I know you have help, obviously, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But you are still the social media queen.
Well, thank you.
And can you actually tell us, like, how your TikTok journey started?
Sure. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Now here we go. So it's really funny. So I didn't know before it even started, I'm somebody like I kind of made a decision for myself. Like I'm just honest and I'm vulnerable and I'm okay sharing my journey with people because again, it's not that serious and people need to be real and vulnerable. And that's just something I've always kind of been committed to. Like some people are really private. I'm just not a private person. Like there's certain things I'll keep to myself that I think is appropriate, but I'm kind of an open book. So I've always been that way. But when we shut down during the pandemic, of course, we all thought it was going to be 2 weeks, right? Like
We did.
Yep.
I think when we realized it wasn't going to be 2 weeks, my daughter, we allowed her boyfriend into our bubble. And she had been telling me, at the time, I think she was like 16, she kept telling me I needed to make TikTok videos of cleaning. And I was like, what is this TikTok? What are these kids doing on TikTok? So, I mean, it was just like, well, what else are we going to do? Like, let's make some videos. And so her and her boyfriend showed me, and it was like old school TikTok back then. It was like 5 years ago. And her and her boyfriend showed me how to do it. I was like, oh, that's super fun. And her boyfriend at the time was watching the few videos we uploaded. It was like me cleaning, a shower to the song Rubber Ducky from Sesame Street with a dryer sheet. Oh, it works.
Interesting.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go watch that video.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need to try that on my tub.
Just get the soap scum right up. And then I was doing like cleaning the toilet to Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On," and
So good.
and he was like, "Beth," I was like, "What?" He's like, "You're getting all these views." He's like, "You're getting like hundreds of views," and I was like, "What does that mean?" Like, okay. And then it was just like thousands of views and then follower. And I think what happened was I was kind of the first not one of the first in my demographic of Gen X's to get on the platform and start creating.
For sure.
So there wasn't, it was like a blue ocean, right? Like there wasn't people on there in my generation creating content, like how-to content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and it was pandemic, everything was shut down. So everyone was like, okay, well, we'll try out this TikTok thing because we've already watched, what was that lion, the cat, the Lion King? No.
With Joe Exotic.
Tiger King?
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Everyone had already been through Tiger King and there was like another show and people were just on TikTok and it just, blew up. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. And then I did one video, what really pushed me over the edge. I was like at over 100,000. I did this one video, and it was literally a training video for deep cleans, and for my team. That was it. That one has gotten, I think, 14 million views.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It's
That's
gotten
insane.
it got me over 100,000 followers. The
Wow.
Dr. Oz show requested that they could show that video. They could feature me on their show. And
No
then,
way.
thank God, though, it was like 3 days before he said he was running for office, and they pulled the show. Because, yeah. But that was like my almost famous moment. I was almost on Dr. Oz.
Oh.
Yeah. But the best part, I think this is the best part, and one of my coaches pointed this out, is that I started it for fun. And then I was wanting to create content for my clients, because none of them had ever cleaned. Like, I'd been cleaning for them for, 15 years at that point. For my clients, just to, keep your home clean during COVID-19 is what I called it. And then I wanted to train my staff. And so I wasn't doing it with any intention of getting views or going viral. I didn't even know what that meant. I was doing it, I was in my joy. And that's what one of my coaches said. Like, I was just in my joy. And I was like, I was embarrassed because I was like, this is like my art. Like, this is, I would feel like I was creating art when I was creating these videos of me cleaning. But I loved it. It met something in me that I didn't know I needed. Like a creativity. And it was also it was very validating in that people wanted to see what I had to offer. Like, and I was just me. Like, it was literally me in a apron, in a speed cleaning apron. And, but then it also created some turmoil for me, is that I got so many people knew me for it. I wanted to be known for more than cleaning toilets.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting, the journey that took me on to self-acceptance.
Yeah. I get that struggle. To this day, I still get that struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough.
That's
so,
crazy.
Well, what I love, though, is that, and I know this because I take your classes, but nobody else knows this, or at least, people
Not
are
enough.
listening to this who don't, right? Exactly. Well, what I love is that, like, you've gone viral, you have a lot of followers, you have tons of followers on your personal Facebook, and, you have people following you, like a lot of people. But it's sometimes, yes, it's like luck. Like, you create a video, goes viral, great. But for you use a lot of strategy.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, because a lot of people just wait until they get lucky. And I feel like social media, and especially growing a business through social media, through the use of social media, it requires so much strategy.
Yeah.
And it's way more than I can even, like, there's so much.
Right.
There's so much to it.
Yeah.
And every time I take one of your calls and you say how you, like, do your live, and then you take it over here, and then you put it on YouTube, and you put it into Descript and all this, I'm like, that's so much strategy. How do you, like, like, it's so much, but it's great because it's teachable then in that case, and that's what you do through your social media for success course, which is only, correct me if I'm wrong, it is only available for CBF members, right?
Now, no, it's only available for cleaning businesses.
Oh,
I'm only doing it for residential cleaning businesses. They don't have to be in CBF, although if they aren't, I'm going to strongly encourage they join. But it's just for cleaning businesses for right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know, because
great.
we might have some people that are listening. Our demographic for this podcast is mostly cleaning business owners.
Great.
So we have people, and people always say, you don't need social media to grow your business. Okay, but you could grow so much faster if you have it. It's a trigger, if you couldn't tell, for me and Holly. And
both of you,
people don't realize, like, okay, like, we talk about how fun it is. How has growing your social media helped your business? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Sorry, I just had a pop up. Yeah, for sure. So, where do you even start with how it's grown my business? So I'll start with staffing. My staff, they've all seen me, right? So actually, none of them meet me. Like, my staff doesn't meet me. I meet with my deep clean specialist, and if they clean my house, that's generally when they see me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, because Walter, my husband, runs everything. And then when we have company events, like, I'll be there. But for the most part, they only know me through social media. So when they're researching, they're applying for a job and they're researching, they get to see all of our content. And that's, like, when you're applying for a job and you see that they're like influencers, they love that. And then we use it in our training. We just use so much video. And it's kind of how they get to know me. It does... I think it makes them a little uncomfortable. They've seen me on TikTok, and then they come into the house, and I'm, like, behind my desk. Like, I don't ever leave the house, so I'm super weird. And I'm like,
like, hello.
Hey there. Vomit.
Full circle. Full circle moment. You're probably like a celebrity to them too. They're probably like, I would brag if I had a boss that was an influencer. I'd be like, my boss is an influencer. Like, I would brag on it. Honestly,
I think they're super afraid of me.
Oh,
I could see that too. I mean, you're so approachable and likable, but you're also I could see that.
Yeah, no, my whole life people have just been like, I have big energy.
Yeah.
And I think that can be very intimidating for people. And most people had bad experiences with their employers. So you have a boss with a big energy and, she's creeping behind her desk. Like, Yeah, I can see how it's intimidating. I go to the ends of the earth for them, but they don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's
Absolutely.
helped. It's definitely helped with the algorithm and attracting people to our company and to, how do I want to say it? Since the algorithm attracts like-minded people, so people like find you just based on where you're located and what you're about and the things that you talk about. And it's definitely helped with growing our business. Up to 25% of our leads come from organic social media. And I
Wow.
will say this is really, really important. I think I might have said this on our coaching call, our group call. Google has shut us down.
Oh no, you did
Yeah.
say that on our
We have been down for
call.
34 days, and it is
Wow.
devastating.
That's
Like,
insane. How does that even like happen?
how can they
That's
do that?
nuts.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I called my local state representative about it.
As you
I had
should.
some words to
Ah.
my elected local official. Like, how is this
Yeah.
illegal? So I mean, we'll work through it. But had we not had the social media presence, we would have tanked.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
would
the
have
leads would
tanked.
have dried up completely. If you didn't have that social media presence, would you have any leads coming through the door outside of referrals?
I mean, there's SEO. Um, our SEO still good. It's probably bringing most of it. But no, I mean, it's bad. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much, especially once you get bigger, how much you rely on Google to replace what's ever leaving. You know, if
Yeah.
somebody just cancels a deep clean, or someone cancels service, or somebody's on vacation, like it's like $30,000 a month that you have
That's
to
crazy.
replace,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
and without the Google gods. So had I not had social media and that to leverage, it would have been a lot hard. I mean, it's hard now, I'm not going to lie, but it would have been a lot harder than it is. So,
For
Yeah.
sure. I do feel like for us, our social media leads are also way warmer than our Google
Right.
leads. They're way
100%.
warmer.
right, because they know you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
They're
Yeah.
willing
They
to
know
spend
what
the
we're
big
all
bucks.
about. They feel comfortable. They feel like they know us. There's that sense of trust. You can't establish that with a Google listing. You really
You
can't.
really can't. No. Mm-mm. So yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Did that answer your question? There's just so
Yeah,
much
no,
to
that
social
totally
media.
does.
There's
Yeah.
so much.
Because it's
I love
clients
it.
and it's staff. Like, that's the big thing. It's not just one or the other. It's like you're always either having a problem where you're overstaffed or understaffed, right? And it's
Always.
just always this push and pull. So if you have social media there, it's going to allow you to get more leads when you need them and get more employees when
Oh
you need
yeah.
them. Holly and
Oh
I were
yeah.
just talking about this literally on our cohort pros call because we're actually very understaffed at the moment. It just flips on a dime.
Yep.
And
It
we were
does.
just saying we need to utilize social media videos to get more staff. So that's our next step.
Absolutely.
So, which if we didn't have that, we have videos that they're ready to pull from about how great it is to work for us. So we
Yeah.
could just pull those, post them, and fix our problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah, for sure. And I think you guys are well enough established in the algorithm. If you start saying in your videos that you're talking about, you're hiring and all the great things, like I feel like people will find you.
Yeah. I hope so.
Hopefully. We
Yeah.
need it.
Can you believe how when you grow, like how quickly staff can deplete?
Yeah.
Oh, it's scary. It's crazy. We
It's
were
just
literally
always changing.
overstaffed. Like maybe a few weeks ago, we were like, "Oh, we're overstaffed," and then
I know.
boom.
Oh shoot, I need more jobs. Right. I know. They like
Yeah.
leave in threes.
Yeah.
And like we've decided, like once you have 10, they leave in threes. Once you have 20, they leave in sixes. Once you have 30, they like leave in nine. Like
Ouch.
no.
that's
Something to look
very
forward to.
dramatic. That's very dramatic, but it's just crazy. It's
You always gotta be
crazy.
prepared. You
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, and I know
Yeah.
you all will be amazing through it.
Thank you.
you.
We'll figure it out. We
Hopefully.
always do.
You always
We
do.
always
We always do.
You always do. So
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, this was great. We've been talking for 45 minutes now. So,
Great.
at the risk of people, needing to do their own boss lady things,
Yeah.
post their own boss lady content, or
Yeah.
man. There might be men listening, probably
Yeah.
not, but you never know.
yeah.
But
Well,
this
a man
was
can be a
so
boss lady. If we can like
true.
fight like a man, like there's a man can be a
Yeah.
boss lady energy. I'm all for it.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, very few could pull it off because,
None that I've
but,
met.
but the ones who can, bring it.
Oh, actually, no,
Absolutely.
I know a few. I know a few. Now that I'm networking more and
Yeah, I was
putting
gonna say we
myself
have
out
a
there
few
more.
men that I think I can think of at least one man that listens to this podcast, one or two.
See,
So don't leave them out.
can I just talk
Yeah.
about that real quick?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay, so this is something that I've been like one of the many things. So I like hyperfixate about things.
Me too.
Yeah, and I like really think about it. And I like really for a long time I think long and hard about it. And one of the things like really dumb stuff sometimes, like why are there speed limits? But in this I don't get me started.
You slay me. I can't. Speed limits. That's for another
Like,
podcast.
seriously, don't get me started. Like,
Dead.
Sad.
you're like never again. Um,
No, this is great. This is perfect.
yeah, but I think when we speak up as like strong women who are passionate, we're creative, we're caring, I think that we also not only do we give women permission to do the same, but it also creates space for men to have safety in their own masculinity. So like, and I think that's so important. Like I for so long I was always like, F the man and like all this. And then I was like, no, for me to heal as a woman, I also have to allow space for men to heal in their journeys.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like it's like as women we're allowed to like cry in public, we're allowed to do all these things, but men have to be a certain way, and that's got to be horrible. And a lot of the times they have to be that way because that's what we require of them. Like we say we want a sensitive man until he starts crying, right?
Yeah.
And then we're like,
Yeah.
like man up. So like creating that by us creating space for ourselves and then we create space for them, I feel like everyone heals. And
Yeah. But it's only for the this is the men are gonna hate me for this one. But
Yeah.
like it's for the men who want to let go of their toxic masculinity and
who are willing to do the work.
yes.
But
Which
and
there
that-
are plenty.
yeah.
There are plenty.
There are plenty, and it's beautiful to watch, and it's messy. Like, we have a space to do the work,
Yeah.
and we also have to create space for them to do the work.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
so often we have not allowed that. And I'm not saying us, like the three of us, but as women, we just have not allowed men
Yeah.
to get real messy with it. And, like, we have been able to with each other. And, like, when
Yeah.
we create that space, so that's what I was saying, like, when they woman up, like, it takes a really special man to be able to be like, I'm going to do the work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's also not supported by other men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why I never, I never judge a book by its cover. Or like, I'm definitely consider myself to be a feminist for sure,
Yeah.
but I'm not one of those feminists who's like, F the patriarchy, even though I have heard myself say that
Yeah.
one too many times.
Yeah.
But that's not my true feelings about it. I just feel like I'm more of a feminist in that a woman has like a right to be who she wants to
Right.
be, whether that is a man-loving woman or however she
Right.
wants to present herself. That's kind of
Right.
it's not really an anti-man thing. It's
Right.
more of a pro-woman thing. You don't
Right.
have to be anti-man to be pro woman.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think we're finally coming to that. And I am a smash the patriarchy person. Like I have a sweatshirt that says smash the patriarchy, probably with some other expletives on it. But it's not it's the patriarchy that also holds men back. Like that patriarchy holds them to this like hyper masculine, toxic masculine. Ah, my microphone.
Man down.
I know it was like she's oh no, she's talking about the patriarchy.
You definitely have
was like,
a male ghost. A male ghost just took that microphone and slapped it off your table. It was like,
It was like, shut up, woman.
Every man in my lineage was just like, hell nah. Like,
right? It was like, shush up, woman. Smack. Like, what is
Let me tell you about that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
anyway,
we agree.
so that's one of the things I think a lot about in my internal work is just like as I heal, how do I create space for others to heal, because we all need each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it all kind of circles back to the tribe thing too. Like, you know, you want to have your support systems. Like, I lean on mine heavy. Laura knows.
Yeah.
She's been there to catch me way too
Yeah.
many friggin' times. Like, I've called Laura in the worst mental states I've ever been in, telling her I don't want to be alive anymore, and I'm very very vulnerable. I'm not ashamed to say that there have
Yeah.
been times when I did not want to live anymore.
Yeah.
And so sorry, Laura, you get most of it.
It's all good. That's
She's
what I'm
my
here
main,
for.
she's my main woman. But
Your soulmate.
That's what it's so important, like, to have that and have those people, but to also be that person for others. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I always, like, I want people to, like, confide in me and, like, work on their ish with me and let me, like, help them through it. Like, I take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that.
I do. It's like the honor of a lifetime to be able to. Well, it took me a long time to be able to, and I think coaching has helped me. And when I was a social worker, is to create that container where I'm literally holding space to them, and it's about them, and it's not about me.
Yeah.
You know, like how, like, let me sit here, and you both have witnessed it. Let me sit here with you in this, and hold space for you, and not let it penetrate me, because that's not helpful to you.
Right.
Right. You're able to, like,
And
almost detach. Like, you care,
Yeah.
obviously.
Detach with
You're
love.
very
Right.
empathetic, sympathetic, but, like, it lives here, and then you live here. And you're able
Right.
to, you know,
Where do I
help
end and
without
you belong?
getting
Yeah.
too, you know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely, because then it
Yeah.
becomes about me. Then,
Yeah.
like, you're upset, and it's making me upset, and now I have to be soothed too. And, like,
Right,
that's not what
right.
holding, that's not what holding space is. One of the most beautiful things I've ever done is my friend's dad got cancer, and he died, like, in a month, and just being able to hold space, really hold space for her to go through that was one of the honors of my lifetime.
For sure.
Yeah, and afterwards I was exhausted. Like, I'm still recovering, but
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sure.
I feel like it takes finesse, but at the same time, it kind of, I mean, I don't know, for me, it kind of comes natural. Like,
Does it?
like Laura, I remember, I'll never forget, this was the worst day of her life for sure. She called me one day out of a dead sleep, and she was crying on the phone, and she, in the same sentence, said, my dad had a heart attack and my grandmother died.
Oh my God.
Like, in one sentence. And I was, on the inside, I was like, oh shit, like, freaking out.
Yeah.
But I was like, girl, I was like, pull over and, like, tell me what happened. And I had to, like, really stay calm, and I had to remain calm the entire day when, like,
Yeah, you were very calm, which I
Ooh.
appreciate.
it was tough, but, like, I was able to do it. And then I gave it to my therapist. Like, you know, I let him
Right.
have, like, you know, I
Right.
took it
Yeah.
and I gave it to him.
Right.
But I was able to, but I had to, like, it was like, there was no choice. Like, I couldn't, like, have a nervous breakdown with her because she needed me to be strong.
Yeah.
So, like,
But I'll
you know,
push back on that, Holly. There was a choice. There
Yeah,
was a
was
choice.
there?
You could have made it about you, and you didn't,
yeah,
because you were able to, like, separate and hold space for your soulmate, and that's beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Give
was,
yourself credit.
that was a tough day.
It was very tough. Yes, she couldn't even
was
hear me. She
day.
was like, "Slow down! I can't even hear what you just." She was like, "Oh my god, what?" Like, she was like,
Yeah, it was
I
like
feel like you were dreaming, both of
crazy.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
It was crazy. I was literally covering a job because my employee overslept, and this was before we had any systems with CBF. So I literally went to go cover a job in the morning. So I'm mid face down in a toilet, and I get the worst phone call of my life. Like, I was like, I have to go.
Oh no.
It was like crazy, yeah. But
Oh
thank
my
God, like, the support system is so important. And, like, for me, I'm a little different than Holly, and, like, I have trouble opening up. Like, I'll have trouble, like, I will, like, have a nervous breakdown in my car by myself before I call somebody, and Holly has to, like, pull it out of me and be like, you can have a nervous breakdown in front of me or in front of anybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I didn't have that support system and somebody forcing me to open up, I don't know what I would do.
she still
changed
apologizes
everything.
for crying to me to this
I
day.
know.
I'm like,
I have a
girl, I've
problem.
known you 33 years. Like, you do not have to apologize for crying to me.
Yeah. Oh my God. We were talking yesterday. I'm sorry, I won't keep you guys forever. We were
No, you're
talking
good.
yesterday, and we're just like, we're all just like injured children in adults,
Yeah.
like that are adults now. Like, we're all just broken children trying to heal, trying to figure it out. And so, like, whatever, Laura's trauma was that makes her unable to open up is,
Yeah.
and then, Holly and I are
like,
more of an open book. I mean, that's comes from trauma probably too, and
yeah.
self-preservation. So it's amazing. And when we can hold each other, it's just beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
amazing.
We're lucky.
For me, it's an honor. It's
It
an
is.
honor to be able to do it. So
is.
Not everybody has that, so it's like you have to count your
No.
blessings. 'Cause not everybody has that.
They don't.
Like,
Because you have to
especially in
cultivate it.
yes, you
Yeah.
have to be open
It's
to it. You have
work.
to be willing to give too. Like that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
everybody wants to take, 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 but like you have to be willing to give with your friends
Yeah.
too. In
It's
your
a lot of work.
relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
it
for
is.
sure. And again, if you're gonna be like not make it about you, like it needs to be genuine, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So like if you're giving, and going back to like our man conversation, if you're giving men space to heal, it's not for your benefit. Like it will
Right.
benefit you, but it's for their benefit. It's for his
Right.
benefit.
Right. And
you
it's
know?
hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
They're idiots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
They're idiots.
yeah, it's tough.
It's real tough. Yeah.
But we learn how to make it happen.
We learn. We need them and they need us. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
This has been so
Exactly.
fun. I feel like we
I
could go for
know.
another hour if I didn't have to pick up kids and you didn't have to get back to work.
Oh my gosh, I could talk to you both for literally forever. And
I
I feel like
know.
this conversation has gone like so many different ways and I'm so grateful for it. But
Yeah.
real quick, I know you have to go, Beth, but if there is one piece of advice that you could leave our listeners with, just like anything, life or business, just real quick, anything you could think of.
I know that's so open ended. That's
Such
so
a good
loaded.
question.
Do the thing.
Yes.
Just
Love
do
that.
the thing. And I used to hate when people would say that. Do the thing. But like, whatever it is, effing do it.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
I
do
love
it.
that. Just do it. Nike.
As someone who has heard that so many times from you, just do it. I'm like, I don't
do the
wanna.
thing.
She's like, just do it anyway.
It's not that serious. Like, I'm in recovery and they used to tell me, like, you're not that important. And that sounded horrible at the time, but it's true. Like, if I go make a live video and I'm terrible, like, no one cares. Like,
Yeah.
that's serious. You
Yeah.
know?
So true. That's so good. That's like the best advice to leave everybody with. Do the thing. It's not that serious, and do it
It's
scared.
not that important. It's do it scared. Yeah.
The other
And can you
Bethism.
also, so that people can find more of your Bethisms, can you plug some of your social medias that you'd like people to connect with you on? Like, where can they find you on the internet?
So I'm best at keeping up with my personal Facebook page, which is just Beth Eldredge, and Beth is spelled with all E's, and you can't miss it because it's like a red background with a leopard frame, and I think I'm laughing. So yeah, Beth Eldredge is Eldredge. My TikTok is Eldredge Cleaning. So if you want to see those are probably the two best ones to follow me on.
Awesome.
And we will be sure to link all of that in the show notes and on the website and in the description box below.
Great.
So everybody can just click a link and go find you. But
Yeah.
this was amazing. I know
was
people are gonna be
so fun.
jealous that like we're in your tribe. People are gonna be super jealous after listening to this
They should
episode.
be. They should.
gonna be like,
be
I wanna-
jerks.
And they're gonna be like, I want to sit at that table. Like, that's the cool kid table.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the cat vomit. May I remind you of the cat vomit? Like,
Cat vomit and childhood
Listen.
trauma. It's adorable.
It's so good.
so good.
So great. Beth, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy
Yeah.
woman, so
Yeah.
thank you.
This is a bright light in my day, so thank you. I adore you both.